Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing really well today. So today I'm sharing with you my number one tip to stop impulse spending and purchasing. It's one of the best tips I've ever learned in my life, and honestly it's changed my life for the better, and I really want to share it with you guys today. So the tip is to wait 30 days before you buy something. So it's quite interesting, and it's something that I never used to do. I used to just think, go shopping and just buy whatever I thought I wanted, and I would never have a list of things that I thought I needed. And I changed my whole life around when I just started to think, what do I need? So say it was like, I don't know, something silly like new bedding or a new t-shirt, or maybe I need a winter coat. I would then write that down on a list, and then I would see if in 30 days I still needed that thing. And so 30 days is just the amount of time that you can choose. It could be 7 days, it could be 50 days, it could be 2 months or a year. It depends what the thing is and how much you might need it and how quickly you might need it too. So obviously these things I'm talking about, they're not things that you need in daily life. So it's not things like food and consumable things like that. This is more the things that are just adding to your life and that you don't need to exist. So like I said about clothes, maybe it's like a new water bottle or just something silly like that, just something that you could have but you could probably do without, or you could make do in the meantime before you buy it. And I think sometimes just by waiting it out and, waiting that ride out, you can just kind of figure out if you actually need it and not just purchase it and then be like, oh, I never did need that in the end. Because that's what I always used to do. So yeah, I'm going to explain why you would want to do this and what the benefits are, because I really do think that this is life-changing. This is a life-changing tip that I'm sharing with you right here. So I think the number one thing that it stops is impulse buying, and it helps you to control what you are spending your money on and to be more intentional too. So, when you go to the supermarket and you look around and you think, oh, I want this or I want that, or this catches your eye, or maybe there's a deal, and so you buy 3 things when all you really went for was one thing, and maybe you didn't even need that one thing you went for, and now you've got 3 things that you've just brought into your life. So it makes you more intentional with what you want to buy, and it makes you really think about it and think it through. Think, do I have something else that I could use instead of this? Do I need this? Is this going to be worth the money? Am I going to use this in the long run? And by just having this list of things that you would have made before, you can just look at that and be like, actually no, I don't need that, or I do need this but I don't need these other 2 things, so I don't need to use this deal. This deal's not working to my advantage, it's working to the world's advantage. Because one thing that we've got to remember when we go shopping and things is that you are kind of the prey going into the predator's environment. Those environments, shopping centres and malls, they're made to psychologically make you buy things, if that makes sense. So you've got to be really on the ball, and they're always trying to catch you out or trying to catch you off guard. And I think sometimes certain people, you can go into the supermarket and buy loads of things and it's to mask emotions, and I used to do this all the time. I was the worst for it. I could wake up in the morning and just think, oh, I'm really feeling off today and I'd want to boost my mood, so what would I do? I would go to the supermarket or to the shopping centre and I would just buy things, and I'd come back and I'd look at my little haul and be like, oh, that's great, but then maybe an hour, 2 hours, a day later I'd be like, oh, I don't even need all these things anyway. But it's that little dopamine hit that you end up getting in the end that makes you keep wanting to carry on that cycle, even though in the end it's not making you happy and you're just wasting all of your money. And actually having more money would mean you could go on holiday and do things you actually want to do. So yeah, I think just being intentional with your purchases, that's one thing that's been a massive benefit for me, and just coming out of the consumer trap and the cycle of them preying on you and you just feeding into it. Once you remove yourself from that cycle, you just feel like a liberated person. The other great thing is that you are using less resources. So obviously you guys know that I really do like to make less of an impact on the world, or the least impact that I can. And so I think that just using things you've already got, or looking around and thinking, do I need this? Or trying to wait and see if you can find something that's better than what you already found. So a really great example of this is water bottles. You can go to the supermarket and you can buy plastic water bottles. Maybe sometimes you can buy metal water bottles, but I waited it out and I saved up and bought myself a hydro flask, and it was the best purchase ever because it lasted me so long, and yeah, I love it to pieces. It's just one of those things where you got to think, what do I use this for? It keeps my water cold, it keeps water hot, it's perfect. Whereas if I'd have just gone and bought straight away impulse purchase a plastic bottle from the supermarket, yes, it would have done the job, it would have held my water, but is it the best thing that I could have bought? No. So just taking that time to step back and just do some research and figure out if it's better for you to do that. And sometimes putting that monetary investment in makes you really appreciate the thing that you bought a lot more, even though it does seem like it's not worth it because it's more money. But in the end, it's going to be worth it in the long run, as long as you've done the research properly and you do believe that it's the best thing you could buy. And because of that, you know, you are using less resources on the planet. You are not going to just keep buying plastic bottles, and this is just the example I'm using, but you know, it goes into everything. You're not just going to keep buying things, throwing them away, and then there's this massive pile. I always think if there was a pile of rubbish or things that we'd all discarded through our lives just in our back garden, we'd all be mortified and it'd be like a mountain. So another really great thing about this lifestyle is that you can be really creative, and it really helps you to think outside the box and to find solutions to problems that you had in the first place, and you can actually like see around you and see the stuff that you've got in your environment and use those things instead of buying something new. And I've seen this a lot of the time, you know, with people on the zero waste movement and stuff, and it's like we're all advertised this perfect aesthetically pleasing lifestyle where, you know, there's a keep cup and maybe there's a hydro flask, and then you've got these beautiful like bento boxes and all this stuff, but it's stuff you don't need. And I've seen a lot of people recently just using stuff they already had. So instead of going out and buying fancy cutlery, you know, that's in like a little design pouch, they just use their own cutlery and make something out of a tea towel, and that's perfect. That's exactly what this is about. You know, it's not about consuming more, it's about consuming less and using the things that you've already got, which I think is fantastic. And also, like with the list, one thing that we put on our list recently was a kettle. So you know that I live in a van and we live in a campsite, and so the kitchen's quite far away, and so we decided we'll just see if we can stick it out, see if it works out, you know, that it's not really worthwhile getting a kettle. And then in the end we were like, do you know what, we'll make the purchase. It was like $6. But we didn't want to spend that $6, and that's the point, is that you know, even if it's only $6, it could be $60. The intention's still there. You're still trying your hardest to not buy things and see if you can make do instead. Turns out the kettle was a brilliant idea, and now I can just have tea on tap and I'm stoked about it. But you know, it's added value to our lives, and that's the point, is that you've got to wait it out to see if it's worth it and to see if you're just being irrational or whether it's actually a really good choice. So overall, I think this, you know, this tip that I'm giving you guys just really helps you to live more intentionally and to stop having those regrets about impulse buying, impulse purchasing. And so if I was to give you one tip today, that's what it would be. It would be just go now after this video, write a list of all the things that have been on your mind recently that you wanted to buy, or maybe write a list of things you bought recently that maybe you didn't need, or you know, that you brought into your life, and then assess whether you actually needed them, just to kind of like, I don't know, like reverse psychology, see whether you actually needed them, see if you're in some sort of, I don't know, like way of thinking, and then see if you can find your way out of it. And that's what I do in my bullet journal. I've just got a page and it's just stuff that I think I call it like my wish list, and then I just write on there every time something comes into my head and I think, oh, I need this. So right now it's a mic for my camera, so I've written that on the list, and then I will do my research, and literally it's been like 2 months since that's been on my list, so I know now that I do need it. But that's just the way to do it. And then, you know, you're gonna just look at that and be like, this is what I need, this is what I need, and maybe in a month's time you'll look back and think, actually I don't need this, and you can just cross it right off. And it's such a liberating feeling to be so in control of your money and your purchases, and it really is life-changing. So yeah, I would love to know if you guys have got any tips and what your number one tip would be to, you know, stop impulse buying and stop being in this consumerist trap that we're all a part of. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that it helped you out today. And if you are new to this channel, I love talking about ways to live more with less and ways to live an intentional and purposeful life. So I'd love for you to join me, and I really hope that you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.